How many of you all ever had to deal with a 5-year-old? Here's a snippet of my life. Kaylin, where is your leotard? Kaylin, it's upstairs in the hallway on the floor. Kaylin, you're downstairs. Of course you don't see it. Go upstairs and look in the hallway on the floor. Kaylin walks up the steps to the hallway. What do you mean you don't see it? Kaylin, I guess you're done going to gymnastics. Well, sounds of tears echo through the hallway down the steps to my ears in the kitchen. Kaylin, what's wrong? Kaylin, we're going to be late. Let's go. Sounds of tears get louder. What's wrong? Okay, let's go look for it. 5 different leotards lay on the hallway floor. Is this your leotard? No. Okay, here's one. Reluctantly, she puts it on. Now we'll go use the potty so we can go or we'll be late. Knocks on the bathroom door. Kaylin, are you okay? What's taking you so long? We have to go. What are you doing? She opens the bathroom door. Kaylin, I think your underwear is on backwards. Stand up. Know what? We don't have time. Let's go. Hurry up and wash your hands. We're going to be late. Jumping into the driver's seat, she jumps into her car seat. Put your seatbelt on as best as you can. Are you okay? Without checking to see if her seatbelt was even fastened, I'm driving 35 miles per hour in a 30, 65 miles per hour in a 45, 85 miles per hour in a 65. Finally, we arrive at gymnastics. Sitting in the car alone after taking her inside, needing a moment to collect myself, to calm my nerves, to breathe. See, I hate being late. The thought alone makes me anxious, clammy palms, increased heart rate, and as you witness, irritable, lacking patience. Knowing that if my daughter is late for practice could possibly get her in trouble, heighten my panic levels even more. I do not want my child to suffer punishment due to my own negligence. It wouldn't be fair, it wouldn't be right, but we made it with 5 minutes to spare. 2 hours pass and gymnastics practice is finally over. Hey Kaylin, how was practice? That's great. Gets home, wife greets us. Hey Bumpy, how was practice? My wife asked Kaylin. What's wrong with your underwear? Why are they on backwards? Kaylin, why are her underwear on backwards? My wife was staring at me bewildered. I paused, took a deep breath, and said, we were running late.
Okay, I wrote this when I was living in New York and I was ready to go. As soon as I step foot on the sidewalk, I'm in deep conversation with the air. 10 million receptors, waiting like ellipses, uncertainty blooms into question marks, lining up at the nearest bus stop. The clink of coins falling forebodes a destination. Faces, parallel and perpendicular, fleshy cells on the living grid of the city, clamoring for peace, in clean, fur-lined boots, zipped-up coats, and a peak of purple fabric on calf muscle. There's a trend of movement toward the imposing gray building at the corner. Sisters trail after the one with the polished bun, who has connected eyes with the ivory Madonna at the threshold, and the two join in purposeful ritual. I've not decided yet. Instead, surrendering my body to the incline, going down Church Hill, have become mass multiplied by acceleration, have ignited into blue and white hot curiosity. The plastic flags outside the discount store flapping my private parade. The route has been decided. All I have to do is lean into it. I ordered chile in my chocolate. A mismatched couple from the morning after wordlessly reveals their breakfast sandwiches. A man across the table holds a woman's jittering leg as I wait. She could be sick of him. The sight of her notebook gives me a headache. I leave, reeking of old breakfast onions and burnt sesame seeds. Clay-colored shit streaks the sheets. A butter knife glitters from the diner window. I step over garbage to behold the web of branches. Crisscross lattice with snow-laden palisades peeking through. Bleached white crystals flank my path. A robin with her rusted breast. The Hudson is waiting, she says. You've arrived.
is about those fears we discover we have, titled Flu Shot. Flu Shot. Is this a good height for you? White tents mark the entrance to a parking garage. I wait in line. I know what's to come and that it will be easy. A swab on dry skin and a prick that will disappear. As I walk, I am reminded of my own sickness in the toilet as nylon tights become soaked in blood, the smell of iron, and the constant churning of my stomach. There are tears fighting to break, and there is sweat. Not the sweat that smells of cherry blossom body spray, but of ethanol, hard-boiled eggs and toast, toilet bowl cleaner, and wet paper towels. Droplets accumulate on my temple and collarbone. A stream under my arm leaves an oily trail on translucent skin. Shaky breaths and the sound of a toilet flush 3 times. Wipe the seats, dust the knees, splash cold water. Closed doors and forced smiles, stay on my feet, run through that 8 count again. From the top, with music now, in your position, late. Start over, run, bleed, and retch, dance.
Well, if there's any change.
Dr. Grant, with his butterfly name tag, motioned for me to sit. My body sticks to the parchment on the examination bed. He tapped my knee with a rubber mallet, shined light in my pupils, peered at my uvula to see if it was hanging right. Observed how much wax my Q-tip missed in my ears. Tested my blood just in case. Like those fancy hole punchers that come in star and heart shapes, punch a hole in my finger and siphon lukewarm bread into a tiny vial. Iridescent yellow lights flicker, hide my yellowing button-up blouse and unhemmed plaid skirt. Wait till I'm barely awake enough to keep my head up. Think, if this is done before 10, I won't be absent. Think of the homework, think of the stairs, how to climb and not stop, how to breathe without gasping. BMW, the new ambulance, cruise over to the emergency room, lines and tests and an x-ray. Nurses hold hands on my chest, how can they bear it? Ice-cold fingers turn numb, how can they hold a needle or put on gloves? Feather of a smile, constantly speed-walking, how can they bear the sounds of coughs, hurried whispers, snores, and whimpers? Lay down, sleep, wake every 15 minutes to a knock. If the blood doesn't like its new body, it'll bubble up and burn my insides, and my limbs will finally be warm. Try to watch the color return to my forehead, but I can't see above my nose.
She called me fat. I called this girl out because she was being rude, and all she could come back with was that I'm fucking fat. And I don't know if it was because she was another female that stood out or because she herself was skinny, but I laughed. I laughed because fat does not define me. Fat might be an adjective to describe my physical appearance, but fat is not all I am. She could have said I'm selfish, I'm a bitch, I'm loud, I'm crass, an asshole at times, arrogant. She could have said that I'm spoiled, entitled, or conceited, but she chose fat. Why does my fat bother someone so much? It's the first and only thing they see at times. I'm not sending them my grocery bill or my restaurant bill or asking them to make me fucking food. They have not invested in my beautiful fatness all these fucking years. Is it because I wear my fat well, or they think I'm in love with my fat? Don't get me wrong, I know fat is an issue. You don't know my story or my struggle, and you don't help my cause either. But here you are pointing the obvious that I am fat. Maybe you expected me to feel ashamed. Girl, my grandmother told me that my face is so pretty that maybe if I lost a little bit of weight when I got older, I'd be prettier. My father would call me out on what to wear because I'm a gordita. And according to him, gorditas cannot wear crop tops, short skirts, or 2-piece bathing suits. And he would say he was doing me a favor, so that one day when I would be in school, when people would say this to me, I'd be okay with it. Maybe because of the much about me being fat years ago. That is not an insult to me. That is what I've gotten used to by society. That is being the one thing I have to push through to show you what else I'm about. That is what I'm called by simple-minded fools that were raised with eating disorders and their own bullies to place weight and appearance as the uppermost importance before what's inside. That is what your slow ass decided to attack me with because you couldn't come up with a better insult. That is your insecurity showing. That might be a part of me, but we can cure fat. How do you cure half-witted and ugly inside though? Porque está bien gordita, pero no soy fea. Because if you say I'm fat and who would want to be with me like you did, I can send you references and how many times I've been proposed to because I bring my fucking soul when people surpass me being llena y hermosa because I don't lack love or partners as a tall-ass big girl in South Texas within a sea of petite, pretty girls. So next time you want to insult me, think a little harder beyond like that. Maybe next time, call me an anxious little girl surviving rape and using food as an escape. Call me a teenage girl knowing food as a dopamine instead of drugs. If you want, call me fat, but then also call my parents for being absent. Call the streets responsible for not teaching me how to cope with my homelessness. Call my entire Latino culture out for feeding poverty with carbs. Call me damaged. Call me surviving, but don't call me fat. I might laugh again and won't twirl around your skinny ass.
Alright, so here's the deal. I've tried, but I'm just not a funny poet. I grasp at jokes and puns like a child in a riptide grasp at air, a laugh, a breath, always just beyond my reach. I find myself sinking into an oblivion that even scientists have not seen. But wait, I know the audience wants something funny. Y'all want to smile. Y'all want to be reminded of how vast the ocean is, how beautiful are the reefs, not be told how easy drowning can be. How's this? How many of y'all know why the chicken really crossed the road? See, maybe, but honestly, I don't know. But that's how you start a joke, right? Say something relatable. Say something just true enough to hit home without hitting hopelessness. Craft a smile, cunning enough to draw tears from eyes, smiles from lips, air from lungs, and somehow we're talking about drowning again. About being a child underwater or an adult under the pressures of a stage that demands a court gesture when all you have are these anxious gestures and a brain that only knows how to write about pain, but the world wants a joke. A joker wants all the serenity to hide behind the insanity she can't control and the wisdom to know not to tell the world about it. How about this? How many sad poets does it take to screw in a light bulb? The answer, only one. But they have to get out of bed first. But before, we'll probably write it into a metaphor about darkness and loss, lament over how fleeting life is and how to replace one thing with another is never to be with what once was. And then, and only then will they reach for the latter and light and new, but it helps to stew a bit first. To try for a moment once more to come up for air. With flailing fist and glowing despair, here's another joke for you. If a poet walks into a Starbucks but no one sees her writing, is she even a poet? Maybe that's less of a joke and more of a riddle that only my imposter syndrome has the answer to. Is a poet even a poet if they cannot bring laughter to a crowd? If all they can do is make them cry, if a poet is judged by the joy that they bring, then I have to ask, what am I?
Right. I am a woman. I was not born a woman. I was born something else. I was raised as a boy, but never good enough to be a man. I was raised to play soccer, to play baseball, to get in fist fights, to fuck girls. I was raised to be a man. Fuck that. I am a woman. I walk down the streets in my heels. I walk down the streets with eyes on me. I see you staring. I see you. You're not sneaky. I see your eyes. I hear your comments. Look at him. Look at him. I see your points. I don't give 2 shits. I don't give 3. I am a woman. You call me fake? Damn straight I'm fake. But I'm keeping it real. I am a woman. I am a bitch, but I am more than a bitch. I'm a cunt. I have my creativity, my uniqueness, my newness, my talent. I am a woman. I am every woman's woman. And I am every man's dream. I am a woman. Can't you see? If you can't see, too bad.
9 men from Iowa. Mass soldiers who can't take shit from anyone. Always believe in their fans known as maggots. Slipknot is their name. See, I was bullied by a bunch of punks in 2005, in which Diamond calls it the year of the bitch. The voices of Corey Taylor screams are the signs of heroism. Drums by the late Joey Jordison and now the youngest man Jay Weinberg on the throne. Samples by the Nail Mask 133. The custom drums by the oldest clown Sean and the former Pinocchio nose Chris Fane. The guitar shreds of Jim Root and the hockey mask beast Mick Thompson. The bass engines of the late Paul Gray now driven by the V-Man Alessandro. The turntables of the man with Sid Wilson who knows how to sample every damn thing. Am I the only motherfucker with a brain? Hell yeah. This is a war. Because you can't destroy me as I am inside you. You better look at me in my brand new eye. Can't see the state of California without the famous Marlon Brando. I don't wait and bleed. Spit that shit out because I'm all out of enemies. If these people, especially Ted Cruz and Greg Abbott, don't get it by now, they never fucking will. Like their supporters, say it with me loud and proud. People equals shit. People equals shit. People equals shit. People equals shit. Not only these assholes try to divide us. If their supporters are 555, Abbott and Cruz are 666. The heretics. Fuck them all. Fuck this world. Fuck everything they stand for. Don't belong. Don't exist. Don't give a shit. Don't ever judge us because we are not your kind.
World is to give yourself a little grace. And she is stuck silent, still, unnerved. Her therapist is right, of course, but she doesn't quite understand this. Later, she sits in her car and Googles the meaning grace, a virtue or excellence of divine origin. She comes from a broken home of deceit and pain and darkness. Her virtue is buried there someplace. Grace. A manifestation of favor, especially by a superior. She searches for her first memory of this, is drawn back to age 4. Her baby brother cuts his knee on some glass and she has to walk across the way to disturb mother. For this, she is graced with a heavy heart and an empty stomach. Grace, mercy, clemency, pardon. By age 6, mother has the grace to pardon herself from their lives. She's never seen again, but thought of often. Grace, a pleasing or attractive quality or endowment. Ages 3 through 12. Father shows her what it means to be an abusive and manipulative drunk. She learns then that she has been endowed with the sole responsibility for everything wrong in this world. He reminds her of this. Always grace. Favor shown in granting delay or temporary immunity. Ages 6 through 12. Her grandparents take them back and forth from father, trying to offer stability. They're the only savior she knows. This must be what healthy looks like. Grace, elegance or beauty of form, manner, motion, or action. Age 13. They're adopted by their grandparents, and with such grace they transition from one form of abuse to another. Every physical need led to believe that their characters are ugly and flawed and broken. Grace to lend or add grace to. Age 18, her adoptive parents pardon themselves from pretending. Homophobia, bigotry, and toxic values are revealed, never silenced. Grace, moral strength, favor, or goodwill. Age 23, she lives alone with two of the boys in her depression, allows herself to shut her parents out. She still hears their voices, remembers their lessons, and the type of grace that they provided gets lost in them sometimes. Always goes back to her therapist with a heavy heart and says, Grace, something I could never afford.
The book I have clutched to my chest is borrowed. How many other books or pens or CDs or charge cords that I've kept will never feel their owner's hands again? All the love and trust and feelings I never returned or barely went me through the turbulence. Jesus, Joseph, and Mary all seem to be busy. So I begin praying to the pilot, the closest tangible deity still wrestling to keep my life above water. Dear Rick, excuse me, Captain Rick, I promise, if you keep this bird from going Phoenix, I will finish all half-written stories no matter how long it's been since we last spoke. I will stop letting memories get lumped, or stop letting feelings get lumped in the back of a memory's throat. I will do today what should be done today. The plane levels out like a drunk hitting concrete, and with 8 hours left in the flight, I'm thinking of all the things back home that are waiting for me.
Okay. Give it up for quarter life crisis.
Anxiety too.
This is called quarter life crisis. But Mom, I don't know how to swim, 7-year-old me says as I'm lurched over the deep end of a pool. But Mom, I'm afraid of the dark, 7-year-old me says as I look into the black abyss that is my room. But Mom, there's a monster in my closet, 7-year-old me says as I'm waking up from a nightmare. Mom says, I'm right here taking my hand as we enter the pool. Mom says, I'll buy you a nightlight and it'll be just fine. Mom says there's nothing in there as she closes the closet door. Mom says, it's okay, baby girl. It'll all be fine. But Mom, maybe I never learned how to swim because I've been drowning in an ocean of my tears for as long as I can remember. And maybe I'm afraid of the dark because I never felt like my life had any real light to it. Maybe the monsters hidden in my closet were the skeletons I tried to keep hidden. But now my dreams have been overflowing and seeping into the ocean because I've not enough space left to throw my trash. And like a natural disaster, I found a way to destroy everything that comes in my path, like pollution. I'm the smog that covers the sky, and like a politician, I've got it so good I can look at you and lie straight to your eye. Because at 7 years old, I learned that people ignore what they cannot see. That's why we spend so much time playing make-believe. Maybe that's why scientists spend so much time looking into space, because we've been told as long as you shoot for the stars, you'll land in as long as you shoot for the moon, you'll land in the stars. Maybe that's why my head's been stuck in the clouds, and like scientists, I've been busy traveling Mars, because somehow my childhood fears still managed to haunt me after all these years, and because somehow at 25 years old, I'm still confined to a space in my mind where I don't know how to swim.
Hood rat friends. Yeah. Unless you are the hood rat friend, then salute. A good hood rat friend will never let you apologize before you made a mistake first. They will tell you, save your sorrowful tears and surrender for the years when you really need them. A hood rat friend will tell you when love was your first mistake, when you should have kept your heart in a cage when that puto you chased wasn't shit. They will help you find that lost puppy dog heart and return it home. A hood rat friend is a key bump of cocaine when you don't really do cocaine. They are the last round of shots bought before the bartender calls last call. They are the penultimate ultimate, homie. That get you through the mess and the madness, homie. That take that frown, drop it in a glass of beer, car bomb, homie. That we all need a reprieve from being good people sometimes, homie. The might not make your problems go away, might actually get you locked up, but at least you ain't thinking about what brought you here in the first place, homie. A good hood rat friend is the stray onion ring in the greasy bag of French fries called life. The space cowboy, the humdinger that tell a 24/7 wishing well playing music in the sun. Your burdens deserve better friends, so go get you some. Some things taste sweeter when they arrive unexpected. So go see the bartender. And don't expect me home tonight, because tonight I want to do little rat shit with my homies.
Working in call centers for the past 4 years, I've learned a couple things about patience. Being femme in the field of white-collar policy feels more like target practice than mission statement. I am objectified on my workplace phone more than I ever was on Grindr. Perverted kindness buzzing for busyness, and the calls keep rolling in. The hellos and goodbyes bottleneck the queue, and today I am worthless because I can't find emerald green leggings in a correct size. My perfectly practiced empathy untangles the I'm sorry's from the kiss my ass almost daily. I smile into a microphone more than I do my friends because you can tell the difference. Well, I hope my eye rolls don't shout too loud. I hope these callers can't hear me wrap tongue around my teeth while I bleed in soft skills. On the floor, I put my automated voice on like a fresh pair of socks. Here, and only here, I embrace getting walked on. I apologize so much I have forgotten the taste of forgiveness. I have desensitized every other interaction in my life. My loved ones, still on hold. My personal life being escalation call for no reason. Spilling teeth from lips, shoving feet into esophagus, and the calls keep rolling in. Every how may I assist you transforms me into a therapist. As if I don't have enough problems on my own. But still I stay your customer service superhero, mostly because I have bills to pay. And there are some calls that feel like God taking a moment to marvel at human connection through me. I am learning that we all have enough problems of our own. I am learning that someone being an asshole doesn't give me permission to be a shithead. This is not how the world is saved. Even if my powers are apologizing, confidently giving false information, or inflating egos for the sake of de-escalation, I put on my cape for 40 hours a week and the calls keep rolling in, so here it goes. I am sorry for the bad energy you found. I am sorry I asked you to repeat your name 3 times. I'm high as fuck. I am sorry I hung up mid-sentence, but it was lunchtime in all fairness. I am not sorry I transferred you to our India location after you complained about having to talk to anyone but Americans. But I am sorry you're having such a crappy day, that today, for you, being human is a little harder than normal. May you find connection at the center of your purpose again. And lastly, I am sorry you feel bad for making me your punching bag. Don't worry, that's why they hired me. I am a robot in the making. My resume reads fluent in ass kissing and bending over backwards for strangers, and the calls keep rolling in. So I have to believe I am saving the world one greeting at a time. Now, is there anything else I may assist you with? No? Have an excellent day.
Yo, I want to love Texas, but being black, queer, and femme doesn't earn reciprocity here. I learned early that being who I am means having to fight for every morsel. And you know, I got called a bitch the other day for my views on abortion justice, and I'm just gonna go ahead and lean into that. I'm fine with being a bitch if it means access to basic human rights like healthcare and bodily autonomy. I'm fine with being a bitch if it means funded abortion clinics in our communities. I'm fine with being a bitch if it means the people who need to hear us are actually fucking listening and making the appropriate changes to the system. I'm a bitch because I protect what's mine with ferocity, because I bark and I bite. So you know what? Fuck it. Let's make this the year of the bitch. The year of the bitch bites. The year of the bitch bites back. Let me start by giving thanks to my fangs. This hunger, generations of recipes, and knowing how to make a meal out of anything. Your bitterness is not new to this palate, and by now I know ink can cut just about anything to taste, but do not misjudge survival for gluttony. I do not enjoy hunger pangs, it is necessary. My mama said, above all else, always make sure you eat. I am not a shark. I will not swim swift and silent at the whiff of blood. I will not hunt you, but I will eat today. I will always keep one spoon for myself because I am done always being this hungry. I will not feast on unsaid words and expect them to satisfy me while people like Abbott sit fat and full on the silence of others like me. I will eat today. And I will give thanks to the people who share this meal with me tonight. Let us feast and rename this repast family dinner. Bring our harvest of bullshit and bad days together and make a meal. Take the leftovers with us and feed in front of all those who have tried to keep us from eating. This is the year of ain't shit change. We are worthy of the freedom to choose and always have been. We are fierce enough to fight for our rights and always will be. Revolution after revolution, I learned something new and I do not attribute it to cosmic voodoo. The spelling of the stars do not change the fact that I am still going to be a bad-ass bitch. Another year of knowing that we will not back down. We will bear our teeth. We will protect what is ours. We will demand our teeth will be full and we will watch as you turn your nose up at basic human fucking decency and we will feast anyways. And I wonder if you can stomach it. If you can handle what we really have to say when we are this hungry and being denied our fair portion. I wonder if you could swallow what we've had to swallow, or if you would gag on the shit you tried to feed those around you. This is the year I finally start putting names in these pieces if y'all don't start acting right, Greg. The year I stop following my tongue to say political correctness and wondering why I'm always nauseous. I have important shit to do. This empire isn't building itself. I need my energy now more than ever in the next person to get between me and anything that fills this belly or this heart or this wallet or this spirit is pulling back. And no, we cannot feed kingdoms on empty stomachs. We will not growl out warnings anymore. This is not the year of second chances. This is the year of your grown ass should know better by now. I will not apologize for fighting you. I'm going to hand my fucking mouth in the first place. I am keeping my goddamn spoon today and choke.
It's hot, and I'm walking through the park one day, but it's not in the very merry month of May, no. It was right before September. It was right before fall and winter, and I'm here, visiting, killing time, really. Crossing a bridge over a river that streams through riverbank trees. I'm waiting here for her, and Sewell Park's damn heat and I showed up. To make the earth move for her. To tell her our love's distance is proximity only, not emotionally, and whatever I've said, I'll prove to her. But in my soul, I know that just like these leaves will soon breathe, that wicked autumn breeze, love of my life is going to leave and go on hiatus. And I hate this. But the joy I got when her name popped up on my cell is gonna end because those calls are gonna stop. That there'll be no more staying up all night and sharing sunrises after her and I volley back and forth those, no, you hang up first goodbyes. Or that the last dance my eyes will remember seeing is a salvia-sided vision of you moving through darkness, spinning and sparking stars and streaks, and still I showed up to make the earth move for her. To tell her our love's distance is proximity only, not emotionally, and whatever I've said, I'll prove to her. But in my soul, I know that just like these leaves will soon breathe, that wicked autumn breeze, loving my life is gonna leave and go on hiatus. But darling, this is a moment that'll make us or break us. Because as I'm standing here patient, I'm taken back to the said I love yous that now seem ancient, what appeared to be written in constellations and spoken by shamans. Now feels as though fate is saying, my fault, I was mistaken. It's like God is looking on me, walking Sewell Park's path slowly, like he's gonna come down and approach me and ask me, what are you waiting on? Only I'll tell him I showed up to make the earth move for her, to tell her our love's distance is proximity only, not emotionally, and whatever I've said, God, I'll prove to her. But in my soul, I know that just like these leaves will soon breathe, that wicked autumn breeze, love in my life is gonna leave and go on hiatus. And I hate this, that my tongue will forget the taste of the nape of her neck's flavors, that as soon as she walks away, I'll forget the smell of her soul's vapors. Maybe we're a different breed, and no matter the size of the stones we throw, we cannot bring down us if we act like the burning beast. Maybe what we really want is written in different hieroglyphics, and it's not for lack of effort, but we don't understand what we read, because you've been saying things like, you need more time to get right by me, and I don't know what the fuck that even means. Maybe I'm not patient enough, but argue that with Sewell Park's trees. Maybe these babies, and no, baby, don't go, babies are gonna save me, because maybe it has been me, but maybe it's been you, because I'm the one standing here looking like an asshole trying to make the earth move. And it moves for you. And I know that you felt that. And those long nights we would cry goodbye, and I would say our love's distance is proximity only. I love you. But in my soul, I know. And I can see these leaves turning brown and green, and I can see love coming. But she's coming to leave.
Newish shit. The nightmare is my dreams being chased by hungry teeth. I have no feet. My electricity bill is stalking me in a dark house, and I have a math test. I'm half awake. The night is still protecting me from the morning's obligations when I think of my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-granddad and how I can't possibly hate my job more than he hated running on 2 legs after animals with 4 legs just to eat. A herd of stampeding anxieties and cawing responsibilities dragged me out of bed. Overtime shift ahead. I wonder if he would quit. I'm told I'm descended from persistence hunters, capable of running the breath of the wind when hungry. How proud must those before me be that I struggle to swing my feet out of bed. Fear of hunting, knowing nothing of teeth and claws. Ancestral abuelo would not choose sleep. Such is the calling of hungry bellies, the people of pursuit. We are generations apart, but bonded by hustle. When the struggle has pounded my brain into time traveling with the sunset, I'll have to ask my ancestors if they honor the death of a salesman. Dream is, I'm running ruts like rivers, not in a sales floor, but I'll take bills paid and beds warm. Home is a village fire beneath a glitter of gods. So I'll be damned if I let rent go hungry. $sign teeth, salivating at the thought of me falling, so every morning I get up, burn motivation-laced peyote to track sleep and migrating wages. My living is paycheck to paycheck, like sharpening stone. Imagine sun and moon, hunted by a time card. Such is the calling of capitalism. The cog's lot, trapping daydreams to feed to the covetous and ever-present deadline. I think of my ancient abuelitos' hunger and persistence, and how there are no cave paintings depicting worship of the NASDAQ or obsidian credit scores, and yet we are whole family trees hallucinating a misguided vision quest that feels like a windowless room without eyelids, talking to stranger co-workers, and a phone is ringing. Every day, my limbs
are tangled in anxiety, brush, and disgraced by depression. Not swift to the chase, but my heart is wildfire. Soul of rain and wind, my blood, says the river, never quits, so I persist. Brave file cabinet wiles and carnivorous CEO cosplayers roaring job threats. I wonder what fangs sank into the lineage of my ancestors and caused the first memory by which son was to live by. If I am the hero to perish, chewed and mauled from grinding my twilight into 9 to 5 years, then let my descendants speak my myth as a slow and deliberate march into the gears of the machine. Have them conjure my ghost over campfires on the nights when morning grows too daunting. Such is the calling of ancestors, the legacy of a full belly.
This is for every person who thinks the Me Too movement is too much or call for attention. Hi, my name is Aida. I am 39 years old and I'd like to make a report. I'd like to finally make a report. Wait, I'm wrong. I am 37. And I'm finally learning how to love myself. I'm able to talk about my past. I am 37 and I need to make a report. You see, I thought it was a good idea to go to this house party with my fiance and I got drunk. So dropping me home, I was barely able to walk into my apartment. I was bleeding all over the place and I did try to make this report, but the officer taking the report said that, well, it would be hard to follow through because she is my ex-fiance and I was really drunk. So I did drop this report. Wait, I'm wrong again. I'm sorry. I am 10 and I am sad most of the time. I sit in class trying to drown myself in schoolwork, in cursive writing. I want to write stories that will take me far from here. I am 10 and I'd like to make a report. My stepfather tried making me touch him. And because I didn't touch him, he told my mother I tried to. So when she got home, she beat the fuck out of me. Apparently men come first before children. I am 7. Yes, I am 7. I am 7 And I love neon green. I love building blocks and new kids on the block and Lisa Frank notebooks. I am 7 and I like to make a report. You see, my mother's stepfather stands too close to me, and every other night he goes into my room and he touches me. I am 9 now, and every other night he goes into my room and he rapes me. But I get to close my eyes and go anywhere my mind takes me. I am human, right? I am 39, wait, no, I am sorry again, I am sorry. I am 5 and I love hugs. I love my dad, he's my best friend. I love Cabbage Patch Dolls and Rainbow Brights. I am 5 and I need to make this report because I don't think I've ever felt this way. And I don't think my uncle should have touched me there. No one should touch me there, right? I am 39 years old and I like to make a report. This report is for those who don't understand why some of us take so long to say our truth, why I took so long to say my truth. There should be shame for someone like me. So I now will release their names like I should have a long time ago. Francisco de Leon, I released your name. Fernando de Leon, I released your name. Alejandro Robles, I released your name. Christy Garcia, I released your name. Because your name don't belong within my soul. My body, my choice, I am not an object. I am 39 years old, my name is Aida, and I need to make this report.
I was born a legacy of Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera. In fact, when I dance, I move in the same way as a flying brick. Day-old mascara and chipped nail polish, I am the revolution that wears eyeshadow to sleep. I am the Vogue scene before Madonna got her hands on it, but like a virgin, America is still obsessed with how I orgasm. Classifies my love a sexual orientation disturbance until 1973. A real material girl, offering electroshock treatment to cure me from myself when right outside the world is all yes. Contoured cheekbones and tongue clicks. Straight girl sees me and sees her click. Once a gay bestie, but never a gay son. A handbag in her friendship fashion show. Wants to quote Bianca Del Rio, but doesn't really get the whole drag queen thing. Not today, Satan. What's the point in protesting Chick-fil-A if you're going to give tithes every Sunday? As if organized religion isn't the actual fucking issue. As if conversion therapy isn't solely based on the words placed between your cowhide's paradise. So may these bricks break barriers. May these bricks break boundaries. Share everything you've heard about us. Understand? I will 1000% beat your ass when my face is beat. I ain't gonna cargo short country with some motherfucking wheels on. But I believe we've learned to defend ourselves in the land of the free and shamed. We, an evolved species, are no longer listening to dead men tell us God has a dick, ready to fuck us into a lake of fire should we hold our lover's hand. This poem can be found in the book of Revelation. Listen to me speak the gospel according to the Reformed faggot, because it seems like religion always got something to say about gay men like me. Even stones gay men like me, killing in the name of a men want to stick a spear in my side if I act a little too funny. Like my laugh couldn't be what hallelujah sounded like. Like there aren't angels that wish they could shine so bright, and I pray for our protection in a land where homophobia runs rampant, in a land where a last dance is now synonymous with a gay club. Yeah, I pray for our peace. See, we are not only the rainbow, but always the pot of gold, and always the promise of God, and always the dancing brick.
For the record, Texas's ban on abortion does not include exceptions for cases of rape and or incest, DNCs after miscarriages, or multiple fertilized eggs after IVF. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'll be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. It's Thursday night and I am hand washing the blood out of my underwear. Once more, scrubbing stains out of the garments no one but me will see, but I'll swear they can smell it on me. The metallic musk of life not brought forth once more. I am crying over this ceramic mass grave, am stuck forever with this insatiable craving. It's Friday and I gotta figure out how to frame this conversation in a way that doesn't make the picture it's around unwanted. After somehow spell family with this hollow pen of a heart and red ink running out of me, I was taught that to be woman is to be both water and water bearer, to be fluid and full of life, to be both creature and the sea. Oh woman, what a catch. At 22, to somehow manage to exist outside the permission of others, what a revelation it is. What exodus. Blood be the plague we live with our whole lives, red-handed with the sin of existing. It is October, and I am $22,000 deep in hospital debt, paying my monthly dues in blood and bills. Gotta walk this earth in this body is to bleed out everything I have, but oh, to be woman. To be a constant question of capacity, like how do we love so much, or how do we still have room in our bodies for all the world we hold within, how we walk with the weight of waters deeper than oceans, how we are bathed crimson in thanks, how 1 month at a time we bleed out every life that could have been, but we decided not yet. How we be goddesses always, how we be big with the power to choose, and I chose this. It's Wednesday morning and I am craving a bacon burger, steak, kale, carrots, lima beans, and green jello. This is my body trying to replenish, filling up on all the things I have been drained of in this life, and now I am elbow deep in the staff fridge at work trying to eat my way out of agony, and I have to bite back bullets as my coworker jokingly asks if I'm pregnant. It's 2:15 and I'm crying in the bathroom trying to remind myself that he doesn't know, that his half-baked joke is my only wish right now, doesn't know my mother warned me of this at 13, or that I have been bleeding for 3 weeks. I close my eyes and breathe, and it seems like I spend an eternity like this. It's 3 months marching along in a bloody blur. It's more ER visits than I can count. It's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 2 years later, and it took me 3 hours just to be able to get out of bed this morning, and just like that, once more, I am pricing adoption agencies behind my fiance's back and contemplating canceling our vacation so we can afford to freeze a few eggs and deconstructing lifelong dreams, wondering how far I will let this run me down until I finally call it quits, y'all. It's Thursday night and I am once more washing the blood out of my underwear once more.
La abuela said all her life que no era indígena. She was not indigenous, and I was confused because her nopal kept peeking out through her skin, and sometimes I'd see it more green and prickly than ever, and a florecita would wave a petal or two. Also, growing up, I always wanted to wear turquoise, hot pinks, and reds, but my mother's family would say to avoid them because then I'd look very chuntara, or Mexican. 2018, the movie Roma came out. My father is an alcoholic, and his words, well, he calls them tough love. Every time he fights with my second mother, he calls her Yalitza, or Yalitza Paricio, because my second mom is a beautiful shade of brown clay, the one that reminds us of Mexican roots. My family calls my younger sister my carbon copy, because she's mini-me, but dark. My father is black and Puerto Rican, so we are all of different shades. But everyone says we say it with love, or the terms of endearment, or as Dad says, it was a way of preparing for the insults from the white man. But if so, then why would my 16-year-old sister ask me why my dark skin got lighter as I grew up, and then ask me when it would be her turn to be beautiful? Explain these terms of endearment on why I'm now a grown woman, and when I wear hot pink lipstick, I reapply again and again and again, thinking this doesn't suit me, and my Tia's reference for me looking like a piñata comes to mind. They say we have this racist heart within my country, and this country treats us like second-hand citizens, but maybe it's time for us to start from our core. Maybe it's time for us to look within, admit we're toxic, do the shadow work, because either side of my family, whether black, Puerto Rican, or Mexican, wasn't better than the other. And we can't sit here thinking this colorism shit doesn't exist, because I shouldn't tell my sister she needs to wait to be lighter and beautiful because she already is. That despite her skin color, that looking black or Mexican or indigenous isn't bad, that we're worth more than our skin, that this pink lipstick is more than okay, and I look nice as fuck. And if you bring up the hot pink flowers on my nopal, at least it matches with my bright soul. That being the skin tone of the colonizer isn't something we should be proud of. I finally stood up and told my father to shut the fuck up. That there is nothing wrong with Yalitza. That he can't keep saying we're beautiful like our mother when he's sober, and that act weak and stand with those outside world judging my mother for her beautiful skin. And at the end, abuela is indigenous, super indígena, con pies anchos with a sturdy nose that can smell the rain when it's coming from miles away. Her roots are as indigenous as the nopal that finally stopped hiding and grows against her wishes, because I've been a rebel, a malcriada, a terca, and I've been watering mine above my head with as many tunas and florecitas she tried to run away from. Aquí somos de todos colores. We come in all shades, not one better than the other.
He painted me a picture of his mother's son. Told me this is what love should look like, but my colors do not fit in those lines. My rainbow runs in scribbles. I told him I would be his mold though. I told him shape me to whatever you need me to be, and for a while I was only his lover. And we took on the world with starry eyes, rose-colored lenses. He spelled my name special. He looked at me like I was magic. He looked at me like I would never be found on the back of his milk cartons, and it was in these moments I would forget my human skin. I would forget how sleeping alone felt. I mean, the entire radio station was our song. Back when I knew how his apartment was decorated. Folded myself to fit neatly in place with his feng shui. I had his back like a brace. Let him lean on me when the weight of the world pushed down a little too hard. I took his negative and saged that as a silver lining every time. And it was in these moments I would forget my human skin. I would peel it back to show him the marrow inside my bones. I bled for him. I turned 7 days into 365. I'll be damned if I didn't become a desk calendar for him, scheduling dates around his affairs. Back when I found myself his game, I moved me around to the sound of his ego. I was his pawn, he the banker, and I didn't ask any other questions except, what else? I told him I was his. I didn't realize how literal he would take that. And for a while, I was only his rag doll, and I let him come and I let him go as he pleased. And it was in these moments I would forget my human skin. I would forget my pulse's purpose, because for a while he was everything that I needed. And so I laid him at the altar and I worshiped how my uncle pastor taught me, but I never meant for that to become his echo. And I never meant for me to become a shadow, looking for myself in all of the pieces I forgot to give away. But here I stand. I'm 1,000 diamonds spilled into an unbroken reflection. I'm bleeding on the marble floor, we live stained together. I guess I've never really kissed any men, only tasted the same secret from different lips, because even now, I am whole. Even now, I am worthy of everything he couldn't give to me. He whispered a lie into my ear until I believed it, so he can have the limbs I could offer him. I hope he puts me on the shelf. I hope he remembers me next summertime, and when he realizes that I have an entire religion written on my skin. May he learn his lesson without praying to me, because there will be no more lessons learned while praying on me. And what a shame that our testimonies will never see the same page. And what a shame that he's become the person he said he would never become. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame.
This is a poem on the word nigga, and why the poem pigmented people are prohibited from its use. Look, I get it, I really do. Your colonizer claws are unaccustomed to that which you cannot contain, that which you cannot consume, that which you cannot contort from its origin. You do not seem to comprehend the word can't or compassion. I get it, you were born to believe in the righteousness of your words. You can't contend with any truth other than your own, but let me tell you now, your truth is capricious. Changing whatever you see fit, I call it erasing critical race theory from a syllabus. But now we have taken what you once used to chain us to your callousness, made it our own, and you're just gonna have to deal with this. You see, the English language is an amalgamation of stolen tongues, tied together with tattered ropes that bind, like chattel slavery once did, a consortium of rules only meant to be broken. One, the use of the suffix er. It can be used to make that which is large, larger. Small, smaller, can distinguish something you teach from the teacher, the mill from the miller, the black man from the knit. Your ER was word-made weapon. So we have confiscated it for the greater good, removed the suffix, added our own. The letter A becomes more, sees all possible revelations, is a magician. Watch how it turns subjugation into salvation, into blackboard joy on the corner, or the courts, into greeting, into question, into love, into grit. You see, the word nigger has been given a new life, and well, you just can't have it. You, all greedy grip and sticky fingertips. You see, we are the captain now, and you can go chill on the deck down below. This word belongs to us, and the only thing that you need to know is that we need no other reason than because we said so.